Well, hello there. Welcome, my friend. I'm CharLee Simons here on Do Not Talk. Talk about two things you're never supposed to talk about: politics and religion. Talking to people I'm not supposed to talk to. Talking about things that, nobody cares about that, Charlie. Well, I do. So I'm just going to trust if I care about it and it's interesting to me, it will be to you as well, if you like watching me. If you don't, try and suffer through just for the guests. And support this show by going to my website at charleesimons.com. That's the website right down there below, CharLeeSimons.com. Look at this cup. It's not a cup, it's a mug. Big old 15-ounce mug. I love this mug. Of course, it's red. Let's talk about politics and religion. It's a nice big mug right there, too, and that's what I like. I like little wimpy mugs. You can find all of that in a shirt and a hat and whatever. There's all kinds of things to choose from there. Getting ready for our 250th birthday celebration here at the greatest nation to ever grace the planet Earth. And grace is probably a little too arrogant for me to use that word. It's a blessing is what it is, a blessing from the Lord. And I don't take pride in it. That's a word I have a problem with because pride comes before fall. And even as a, like my nieces, I'm always telling them, I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you. And I think, I wonder if that's the right word. What's a better word? I'm going to explore a better word with my host, J.R. Harrison, because I don't want to use pride, especially since the left and the demonic side of those who are dwelling on this planet at the same time that we are, love to steal words from the English language and make it their own, like gay. Gay is a great word. That means happy-go-lucky, carefree. And no, the homosexuals decided we don't want to continue being called homosexuals, so we're going to just tell everybody to call us gay. There was no official proclamation. There was no Congress didn't come together and take a vote on it. Yep, that's right. Gay is the official word. No, they just started saying it and they started shaming anybody who didn't, especially in the media. Of course, the media is 98% on their side, 98% doing the devil's work just as quickly as possible for his time is short. I've been in the media my entire adult life. Believe me, I know. I got stories. I got saved when I was 31. And when I started waking up, wow, what a paradigm shift for the better, for the greater glory of the one who created it all. We were created to be, not to be worshiped, but to worship. And so many in the media and Hollywood and just on the left in general, it's always look at me, look at me, look at me, look how great I am. That's why I say I kind of have a problem with using the word pride. Am I proud to be an American? Sure, I'm glad to be. I just marvel at how this whole thing began, how it all came together is just so extraordinary. I mean, think about the enormity of it and what we know now as the United States of America. And yes, I will gladly celebrate the founding of our nation this coming July 4th. I wish I could be in Washington, D.C. for the big show that's going to happen there. Can you imagine what the fireworks are going to be like? I was invited, though, to sing the national anthem at a July 4th celebration in my local area in Northern California. And tell you what, that's almost the best thing that I could do. That's second place. If I could go to D.C., if I had the money, man, oh man, I'd be going for it. I don't know if you're going or not, but that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing right there. Our 250th. I'm old enough that I remember our bicentennial 200th birthday. What an exciting time that was. And the nation really came together and really rallied. I remember. We don't seem to be doing that so far this time. I don't know why. Oh, yes, I do. It's because we have a Republican president in office. So, of course, they're going to do everything they can, including stopping the UFC fight that's happening. When is that? June 16th, 14th? Flag Day. President Trump's birthday at the White House there. And they're throwing lawsuits at him, trying to get it to stop, not letting it happen, doing anything and everything they can to discourage and tear him down and make sure he just looks bad in the press. But it's not working. It's not working, press. I don't care what you say anymore. And I'm not the only one. I know who you are. I spent so much of my adult life working with you, working for you, taking the slings and arrows because I didn't feel exactly the same way you did, because I dared to question, even at board meetings, getting together for programming meetings and so on. I was always the one questioning, well, wait a minute. Why are we doing that? Why don't we can we try this? This is probably a little more positive towards the United States of America, toward my nation, toward Christianity, the basis on which this nation was founded. No. Oh, hell no. That's all right. Look where I am now. Not making hardly any money. Begging you to buy a mug so I can keep the show on the air. However, I've never felt more rewarded for what I'm doing. I feel like I'm actually, in some small way, making a positive influence. I hope so. Shining the light on areas and things that the media has ignored and tried to tell you, don't look over there and don't bring that up and don't talk about that. And that's what I do. I will continue. My guest is J.R. Harrison today. J.R. Harrison and I are going to be talking about, this
story is going to sound crazy, like really crazy.
Marriage rates have been declining since the 70s, and 2021 was the first year that more children were born out of wedlock than in it.
For the first time ever since records began, 50.1% of women are childless by 30.
The U.S. fertility rate has plummeted for the past 15 years.
That people are choosing to get married later or live together beforehand, or even not getting married at all.
The nuclear family has almost been destroyed in the United States. You know, how many kids come from, two-parent household with both parents that were their biological parent?
18%. People get married on average like 10 years later now than they did.
It's destroying the country.
If there is one thing that is apocalyptically different about our generation compared to every single other generation in history, it is the near total disintegration of the family unit, at the very least in the Western world. In 1960, 73% of children were living in a family with two married parents who were on their first marriage. By 1980, that had dropped to 61% of children, and today it is less than half. Almost 50% of all the marriages in the United States end in divorce, and researchers estimate that 41% of first marriages end in divorce. If we look at the up-and-coming generation, only half of today's teens will go on to get married at any point in their life, in spite of the fact that almost all of them aspire to marriage at some point in their lives. And families where the parents are unmarried do not fare as well. Cohabiting parents only make up 19% of all couples, but they make up 50% of family breakdown. And some people might respond, well, that's people's choices, people's desires change over time. This is fine, it's not a problem. The issue is that it is a problem. We can clearly see that. The destruction of the Western family is leading to the destruction of the West as a whole. Fatherlessness and broken families lead to a vastly increased chance of going to prison, vastly higher rates of violent crime, increased mental health problems, increased government spending. Fatherlessness is the single largest driving factor behind poverty, vastly more so than race. Did you know that in America, a white child from a mother-led household is 3 times more likely to end up in poverty than a black child from a 2-parent household? And it is not just an American thing. The same pattern is repeated everywhere. In Canada, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, Scandinavia, the household is declining, and where it declines, the society falls apart. You need to hear this. The destruction of the family is the destruction of the Western world.
Wow. Surprise? Shouldn't be. That's the devil's plan, has been all along. Destroy the family. Take out the man as the spiritual leader. Make him feckless, hapless. Everything you see on television, every single TV commercial, anything about men, especially dads, just negative, horrible, ridiculous, lazy, stupid. Yeah. How many women right now in the audience are going, well, that's how you are? Not all of us. J.R. Harrison, let's get him in the mix and talk to him right now on Do Not Talk. Hit it.
Brother. That is
my
a very
friend. Hello, welcome back.
That is an incredible video. Let me add another fact to that. I just heard this the other day. 40% of the babies that are born in America, 40%, are born to single mothers. Think about
It's
that.
that high?
That high. And if you have a 50% divorce rate, look, a child needs their biological mother and father. The chances are that children aren't living with their biological mother and father. And if that's the case, then you'd probably see, well, children out late at night causing trouble. Have we seen anything at all like that, CharLee?
Oh, sure. I have a perfect solution for that, by the way. Go to the parent and say, we're taking away your bennies. Your benefits are going away unless you get your kid under control.
Yep.
Things will shift just like that. Because incarceration, they don't care. As a matter of fact, it's kind of like a badge of honor. They get to brag about it. And I'm talking about people who soak off the system, purposefully have kids just so they don't have to work because they get paid so much per month per child out of wedlock. The father might be living right there. They might even be married, but she'll never claim that on the birth certificate. Don't know the father. So boom, automatically welfare payments the rest of that kid's life, up to 18 years at least, until they are an adult. And then they have even programs after that, after they've gotten older. But I know this for a fact because I've done a lot of work with it, and I have family who are in social care, government social care. That's their job. That was their career. My grandmother, my aunt, social services, and they've told me horror stories about people who are obviously sucking off the system and how predominant it is, how many there are. And it's regardless of color. I am not focusing on anyone of color because, believe me, I grew up in a white trash neighborhood. So I know it's all races. It's just a prevailing attitude of, well, the government owes me because why? Well, because there's rich people, and so they should have to take care of me, and I shouldn't have to work. Watching a video the other day, JR, this woman said, I'm too pretty to ever have to work. I'm too pretty.
Yeah, I got that problem too.
Somebody just needs to take care of it. You and me both. Somebody just needs to take care of me. I'm too pretty. And I wish it was a joke. I wish she was kidding, but she was quite serious. That's the attitude. So we got all these people. Even if they do know who the father is, they're not going to say it. They're not going to put that on the birth certificate. They lie about it just so they can get paid.
Yep.
And that's where we are now.
State's your daddy. The state is your daddy.
The state is your daddy.
This is right. But it presents opportunities, CharLee.
How's that?
Well, for you and I, it gives us something to do. I mean, if it wasn't for all these bad things that were happening, what would we do with ourselves?
Probably be traveling the country and having a great life is what I'd be doing.
Yeah. Listen, the family is the key. It's the foundation of all society. And the family, you have to define it. And it is one biologically born man. By the way, that is the father and the husband. One biologically born woman, that would be the mother.
Not a birthing person?
No. And a lifelong committed or test tube monogamous relationship with their children, biological or adopted. That's the key. That's the foundation. That's a natural set of circumstances. And when we get away from nature, there's always hell to pay. Always hell to pay.
Yeah. You don't mock God. It's not gonna end well for you.
Yep. When I talk about nature, I came to the knowledge of natural laws. Those are spiritual and those are physical. You can walk off the end of a cliff, and no matter how you identify, whether you identify if I'm not going to fall or not, doesn't make any difference. You're going to fall. There's spiritual laws. A child, I mentioned it earlier, a child needs their biological mother and father. That is embedded in them. They need to know who they are. If you talk to somebody that's been adopted, one of the biggest things that they want to know is, who are the parents?
Right. Of course.
And then secondly, why don't they like me? Should I like myself? If my real parents don't like me, should I like myself? It's a security issue with children, and it's critically important. Wow, CharLee, what we're doing to children. America seems to major in child abuse. I mentioned 40% of the children are born without to a single mother, and then the 50% divorce rate. And then you have what we're doing to them with regards to the LGBTQ MAFIA. They're cutting their organs off.
MAFIA.
Yeah.
What is that?
What does that spell? That spells mafia, doesn't it?
Well done.
But you can't. Well, you see, you can't say that on some.
You say, "Oh, I do." I say it all, but only I put it a little more basic than that. I call them the homo mafia.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it is. Homosexual mafia.
It could cost you, but when you spell it out,
I know
LGBTQ MAFIA, then it's a different story.
Well, I lost all my Facebook pages. A little show I did that I just rebroadcast yesterday about Pride Month and what a joke it is and what a scam. That's what got me kicked off Facebook. Been kicked off for a year now. Took away all my pages. 40,000 people suddenly gone. Took away Instagram. But I don't care. I'm not going to stop. And I'm starting to get encouraged by seeing other people doing the same thing.
Yes.
Finally, because I've had discussions with dudes that I thought were rough and tough, cowboy types, and going, well, they got a right to live, and I don't care what they do in their bedroom as long as they just do it there. And I keep saying, but they're not just doing it there. Yep. They want to do it openly and everywhere. Have you seen any videos of these pride parades and what they were doing? The Beta Breakers run in San Francisco happens every year. If anybody knows anything about that, that's turned into a huge homo fest with nudity everywhere. They don't keep it to themselves. We do as heteros, unless you get into porn. But other than that, we don't go around broadcasting it all the time. It's just a natural way of life. They want to be not only accepted, they don't want just equal rights. They want special privileges. And they're going to force you to comply. They're going to do it legally. They're going to do it in the courts. They're going to do it every single way that they possibly can to make you sit down and shut up. But I'm getting encouraged, JR, because I'm seeing others start to speak up against it and go, no, this is crazy. This has got to stop. We can't keep allowing this and acting like it's okay, especially in the churches.
Amen to that. Amen to that. I think, CharLee, the transgender thing, there is a decrease in interest in the LGBT community. And I think that's happening because I think they want to step too far with the transgender. And when you hear about what's happening to children, and then you see a 23 or 24-year-old male or female go public and say, you know what happened to me was wrong. I should have never done it. You can't undo that.
The detransitioning, it's getting more and more prevalent. Erin Friday is doing extraordinary work up here in Northern California. Amazing work, but she's been a standalone voice in the wilderness ever since the schools tried to rob her of her son by turning him into a girl. And cutting her out and literally forcing her to comply and threatening to have the child taken away and all kinds. It's just insane. She's a Democrat, way on the left, and started saying, no, this is insane. This has got to end. We can't keep allowing this. But like I said, lone voice in the wilderness and my own fellow conservatives are so freaking afraid to even speak against this and speak out about it. Why is that?
Well, first of all, there's punishment. You already mentioned it. You're going to get kicked off of a social platform. This past week, somebody, I'm in the Columbus area on Nextdoor, which is a local social app. It's local, but it's out of San Francisco, if that helps you out at all. But a lady said, by the way, Columbus, Ohio has either the second or third largest gay pride parade in the nation.
Yeah.
And there's close to 1 million people that attend that. I've been to it a couple times.
Oh, you've actually seen it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You talk about nudity and you talk about those things that go on. Yeah.
Right in front of children.
Absolutely.
Right in front of children.
Yeah. I had The first time I went there, you can feel the spirit, Charlie. You can, when you're there,
It's demonic.
it
demonic
is. You
presence.
can feel it. So we're in a parking lot, and this lady parks beside us, and she has a young girl, maybe 8-9-year-old child with her. And she looked at me and she says, "I'm so excited." I said, "Well, why?" She says, "This is the first parade that my daughter has ever been to, and I can't wait." And there's nothing I could say to her. There's nothing at all I could have said to her that would have changed that. But it is, you'd have to experience it. It is just an incredible experience. And God help you if you say anything that is against or questions what they're doing, because they'll come after you. They'll come after. They'll bring their whistles and their bullhorns and their saliva and whatever they've got handy, and you're gonna get it. These people do that to you. It's absolutely incredible. But
that's
again,
the first time I ever had death threats was when I was working for ABC radio and television in San Francisco.
Okay.
And I took a stand against the city council that had voted to make it illegal for any business owner to send a male employee home, insisting that they dress like a dude. No, you can't come to work dressed like a woman. This is going back to the 90s. And the city council made that a law within the city limits of San Francisco, because the city council can't do anything else, but they hope it'll spread. And it usually does. That's the whole idea. And I dared to speak out against this and go, "This is bizarre. How dare you do this to business owners who are trying to literally make a living, to pay taxes to you and to support this community?" And the backlash was fierce and very quick. And people were bringing entire the whole people group together to boycott every single advertiser on not just the radio station I was on, but our sister station, KGO, and our television station, KGO Channel 7. They were boycotting all the advertisers. They were insisting that I get fired. They were insisting that the company issues a public apology, and all because I said, "Wait a minute, have you even considered the other side of this?
Yeah.
How dare I do that?" And I'm getting death threats, and they're having to have security escort me to my vehicle when I get to the station from the vehicle to the studios. I'd never experienced anything like that. And I'm going to tell you right up front, I'm not a shy guy, and very few things scare me, but it would have been easy if I were a different person to say, "Wow, I'm never going to do that again." Woo! That was crazy. Yeah. Sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking, but I didn't, and I don't. And ever since then, it's emboldened me. Actually, you're gonna throw that shit at me because I dared to say, "Why don't you think a different way? Why don't you actually consider a different side of this?" You're gonna threaten to take my life over that? You've lost your mind. No. Furthermore, I'm getting a gun. Or 2 or 8. No. And I actually told I put them on the air. They called, threatened to kill me, told me what they were going to do, how they're going to do it, where they were going to do it. And my response was, "Just make sure you kill me. Just make sure you kill me." They didn't know what to do. F you, fuck you, cuss, hang up. They're bullies, JR. And when you stand up to bullies, they back down. Yep. But nobody's standing up to bullies. At least they weren't. Yep. I'm seeing more and more talk the way I do. No, this is unacceptable. Take it away from the children. And furthermore, no, you don't get special privileges. You can have the same privileges as everyone else. You already did. Now they've taken marriage from us. Mm-hmm. I supported Prop 8, and I lost 2 family members who never talked to me again because I've supported Prop 8. Prop 8 was changing the California Constitution to amend it to say marriage is recognized just between a man and a woman.
Yep.
Well, that didn't last long. It passed overwhelmingly, but they've done nothing to enforce it, and they've done same with Prop 36, where we changed that law about the crime. It wasn't even considered a felony unless it was over $900 something. So we started having all these smash and grabs everywhere and people just taking whatever they wanted and walking out. We changed that. We tried to amend it. We tried to fix that with Prop 36, which passed with an overwhelming majority. But Governor Hairdo and those wicked demons in Sacramento have not funded it.
Yeah.
So it's not been put into effect, even though we overwhelmingly said, yes, we want this. This is crazy. The crime here is people have lost their minds. And now they're cheating in the election with such enormity. The whole race between I know you don't live in California, so you've probably been hearing about this. The race for mayor in Los Angeles, Spencer Pratt, Karen Bass, and Ramen Noodles, as I call her. Ramen Noodles was in a far third place after the primary election, actually conceded the election, crying and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, all these ballots started coming in. Now Spencer Pratt is out.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer Pratt is out. He's not even going to the big election in November. It was nothing but cheating. And the governor's race in California, suddenly Tom Steyer is coming from behind like crazy, this wicked billionaire who spent over $200 million of his own money to try and buy his way into being governor of California. That's what's happening here in my state. I pray that President Trump gallops in on that white steed and just starts kicking some ass because we're lost, brother. We're lost. We're losing the race in supporting traditional marriage. We're losing the race in 2A, Second Amendment rights here. We're losing. Every time I turn around, we're losing in California. All my fellow conservatives are getting out. They're moving to different states if they can afford to. I don't blame them anymore. I used to be, stop leaving. You're making it harder for all the rest of us. We want to stay here. They're all gone.
Stay in the game. Stay in the game.
They're all gone, though. They've all left. Sorry, I sidetracked this conversation, didn't I? Let's get back on track.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm going through a lot of frustration right now after this primary election. And we showed up, though. We showed up. I kept pushing that, and we conservatives did show up for this primary election in numbers that we haven't seen in a couple of decades, where the right actually got involved and voted in a primary election that's normally in the teens. We're not seeing any solid numbers yet, though, because that's the last thing the media wants, is anybody celebrating that, actually acknowledging that. Oh, look at the right is getting some legs. The silent majority has finally found its voice. No, they're not going to encourage that in the media. They're not even letting us have a victory lap with Spencer Pratt. I mean, immediately. Can you imagine what would have happened normally in a primary election like that? A guy coming into the race, no experience before, saying, I lost my home in the Palisades fire, and it's because of Karen Bass and her policies and Governor Newsom. I want to run to be mayor of Los Angeles. What are your qualifications? I don't care. I don't care at this point. I don't want any career politicians running things anymore. I want them all out, is my response to that. But that was their campaign. Oh, he has no experience. He doesn't know what to do. He would get in here. He couldn't do anything. Yeah, but it wouldn't be you, Karen Bass, and it wouldn't be you, Ramen Noodles. That's all I know. So we showed up, and he had a solid second place, which means only the top two vote getters go to the final election in November because of our jungle primary here, which is also a complete, pathetic, ridiculous waste of time and money, but it's very effective for the Democrats. And now Spencer Pratt is out. But what we normally would have done is something like that. Election night results that night, right? Or even the next day or next couple of days, we would have been celebrating. We would have been having parties. We would have been in the streets. We would have been going, yay, hooray for our side. Now on to November. But we didn't. We couldn't. There were no election results announced, and everything was always, it's going to take 3, 4, 18 weeks for us to count all these votes because it's oh so difficult. We have Silicon Valley that can do everything like that, but we can't even count votes, even though everyone else around us is, including Florida, which... Nobody would have thought that back in the 2000 election, the year 2000. Remember Florida with the hanging chads and all that stuff, and it went to the Supreme Court. Well, that's what California has become. Florida fixed their election, but California is getting away with literally murder because of the rampant crime in the streets and so on and so forth, and nobody taking accountability. Instead, rushing headlong to make it worse and worse. JR, I'm so sorry. I'm venting on you my frustrations with my home state of California. I'm so sorry. This is not what we were going to talk about. I'm shutting up.
He who controls the information controls the world, and I think it's very interesting, and maybe something that you might be able to pursue. But the lady that finished in third place, who now is gravitating to second
place now.
When the
Pratt is out.
Yeah. When
unless something dramatic changes, Pratt is out as mayor, running for mayor of LA.
But the question to be asked is, did the number of increase for the leader, the current mayor of Los Angeles, did her numbers increase like the other lady's numbers?
No.
Yeah.
And that's the weirdest thing too.
Yeah. That's noteworthy.
As Spencer Pratt pointed out, it was something like 43,000 votes came in for ramen noodles. I don't know how to pronounce her name, nor do I care. She will remain ramen noodles. 43,000 votes came in for that. And Spencer Pratt just put out a video going, "Hey, that number sounds familiar. What else was 43,000? Oh yeah, that's the amount of homeless in Los Angeles." How about that?
Yeah, it's look, there is good news out there.
Let's hear it.
You mentioned Florida. Florida the governor of Florida just signed a proclamation to celebrate Faith and Family Month. But by the way, that's the month of June. Faith and Family Month. And Tennessee did the same thing. They passed a Nuclear Family Month. Indiana passed a Nuclear Family Month. Utah, Arkansas, New Hampshire's passed a Natural Family Month. Idaho, Traditional Family Month. Then I mentioned Florida and Alabama, Nuclear Family Month. So that's 7 or 8 states that are saying, we want to reconsider this gay pride thing. And while we're reconsidering it, we're going to be celebrating the family. And the family they're talking about is that biological man and woman, lifelong committed monogamous relationship. That's what they're talking about. So stay tuned, because this happened just this year. Those 7 states, 7 of those states was just this year. And we're working on other states. Now, my preference, of course, is a natural family, using the term natural, because natural is, it's invulnerable. I mean, it speaks for itself. Like I talked about gravity, I talked about children. There's so many natural laws. When our Creator created the universe, He created man, He created the animals, but He created a support system. Oxygen is part of that. That's part of the natural laws. But there's spiritual laws. I mentioned children need mother and father. There's so many natural laws out there that when you if you go into the Bible and you try to prove the Bible wrong, and then you say, well, okay, I have to look out, see what's going around me, which are natural laws. It's like, oh, wait a minute. That's right. What the Bible said is right because nature confirms it. So marriage is part of that. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. There's all kinds of quote unquote natural laws that are supported by nature. And that's where I hang my hat on. But if you call it nuclear, or if you call it white families, I don't care. It is one biological born man. I'm gonna get in trouble when I said that. Okay, it could be a mixed marriage. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a white marriage. So don't take me to court, folks. I'm just using these.
No, I understand what you were trying to say.
Yeah.
At least I think I do.
Yeah.
But
people that wear
no,
hats.
it has nothing to do with race.
Yeah.
It has
No.
everything to do with male and female.
Yep. As goes the father, so goes the family. As goes the family, so goes the church. As goes the church, so goes the nation. The United States of America, and you could say California could be the showcase for this, is an amoral and unjust nation. That is not going to change until we get back to the family. And we're talking about the biblical family, not any family, not 3 or 4 parents, 3 or 4 or 5 sets of step parents. It is the natural family that is the key. And if we're going to get out of this mess, we're going to have to start focusing on that, which is a positive. We don't have to complain about this or that. We can promote the positive, which is what we're trying to do. No, I'm sorry. That's what we are doing, promoting the positive. Hope that helps you.
It does. Let's take a look at this.
Keep the faith. Go ahead.
Katie Faust. Tell us about Katie Faust and the hookup culture.
Katie Faust is an incredible lady who runs an organization called Them Before Us. And they add them as children. And her ministry focuses on a child's needs as versus parents' wants, desires, whatever you want to call them. But a child is the focal point. So whatever you do as parents should be best for the children.
Amen.
One of those things is staying married. Another one of those things is staying loyal. Another of those things is staying heterosexual. Children, listen, children, I'm sorry. Children know the difference between a male and a female. And they get different things that they need from the male and from the female. One of the things that they should get from a male, and what we're really lacking in this world, is leadership.
In this podcast episode, Jordan Peterson speaks with Katie Faust, the founder and president of the children's rights nonprofit organization, Them Before Us. The conversation centers around the rights of children, the implications of modern family structures, and the societal consequences of prioritizing adult desires over the well-being of children.
Oh, amen.
Faust argues that the rights of children should take precedence over the desires of adults. She emphasizes that children have an intrinsic right to their biological parents, and that no adult has the right to acquire a child at the expense of that child's connection to their mother or father. This perspective challenges the notion that adults can pursue parenthood through means such as surrogacy or adoption without considering the potential harm to the child involved. Faust asserts that children are often the silent victims in these scenarios, and their needs and rights are frequently overlooked in favor of adult desires. Faust highlights the emotional and psychological toll that the absence of a biological parent can have on children. She points out that many children raised in same-sex households or through surrogacy often experience a sense of loss regarding their missing parent. This loss is not merely a theoretical concern. It manifests in real emotional struggles as children grapple with questions about their identity and familial connections. Faust argues that the commodification of children, where they are viewed as accessories to adult relationships, leads to significant harm and should be challenged. The discussion transitions to the broader implications of hookup culture, which Faust critiques as detrimental to both men and women. She notes that the sexual revolution has led to a landscape where women are often left vulnerable to predatory behaviors from men who engage in low-investment mating strategies. Faust explains that many men who prefer casual relationships tend to exhibit personality traits associated with psychopathy, narcissism, and sadism. This reality creates a dangerous environment for young women who may find themselves seeking validation and affection from individuals who do not have their best interests at heart. Faust emphasizes the importance of women setting boundaries and recognizing their own value. She argues that a woman's ability to say no is a powerful status marker that can elevate her desirability and influence the behavior of men. By maintaining standards and expectations in relationships, women can help civilize the men around them and foster healthier dynamics. Faust encourages young women to prioritize meaningful connections and to be strategic in their dating choices, particularly during their formative years.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I couldn't have
I
said it better.
really like the way one thing was put. Men invest. What is it? How do they put it? Low investment relationships. Low investment relationships. In other words, Earth girls are easy.
Yeah.
It seems a very bad movie from the 90s. It is so true, though. It's absolutely true. And women have not only relinquished that power, but seem to be rushing headlong towards gimme, gimme, gimme everything and anything I want anytime, regardless of the cost later.
Well, they deserve it. I mean, look how they've been treated over the decades, over the centuries. They deserve it. I mean, this is reparations, brother. Come on, don't you believe in reparations?
Right.
I saw the interview between Jordan Peterson and Katie Faust, which is this thing was relaying. And Jordan Peterson is very intelligent, very articulate, and Katie Faust ate his lunch. Oh yeah. Jordan has a friend, and I won't mention his name, but his friend is gay, and I think his friend is the gay wife, but I'm not sure. But anyway, they manipulated family sperm and egg and had twins. And they're taking care of those twins, are these two men. And Jordan Peterson is making the case that that's okay. And Katie Faust is going, that's not okay. And here's why. It's just, if I can find that link, it's an older link, but it was just, I was fascinated to watch Katie. Just, I mean, she chewed him up, spit him out. It was just incredible. She did a great job. She has a great organization, Them Before Us. And I would, Them Before Us, folks, I would definitely recommend you go to that website and highly recommend. They've got articles on there. One of the articles on there, they have an adopted girl. I think I had a link on there, something like that, that was brought up by two males. And the thing that she wanted more than anything else was her mother. And that's not unusual. That's quite natural for doing that.
I can absolutely say with certainty that I was looking for a woman's love. I needed a mother's love specifically. And I could not reconcile my own identity without that. I went home from the hospital with both of my biological parents. My parents got a divorce and separated, and it was fairly messy custody-wise. My mother ended up with my sister, and my father ended up with me. So my mother was not a part of my childhood at all. I have no memory or recollection of her at all during my childhood years. My father was in a relationship with Billy. There's not a moment in my childhood that I don't remember Billy being there. My father and I were very close when I was growing up. I loved him intensely, and he was my rock. I absolutely followed everything that he did, followed him around. And same with Billy. Billy and I were very close. He took really good care of me. It was often Billy that was the one that took care of us as far as making meals and doing laundry and things like that. When I was finishing up my kindergarten year, we were watching a movie called Land Before Time. As I'm watching it and listening to the dialogue, I'm learning and absorbing that there's this relationship between Littlefoot and his mother. And in the movie, Littlefoot loses his mother very early on, and she dies, and he has to go on a journey to go find his grandparents and other long-necked dinosaurs. And so when he lost his mother, it was completely devastating to him. And it was in that moment that it occurred to me that I didn't have a mother and that I didn't know what a mother was. I had heard people say mom, but it had never occurred to me that I had one. and that actually I don't have one. By the time the movie ended, I was devastated that I didn't have a mom. And obviously I should have one, because how can I miss a mom like Littlefoot did if I never had it in the first place? But yet somehow I still missed it. It made me cry and sob so intensely that one of the teachers came over to me and started comforting me and stroking my neck and my back and asking if I was okay. And I just spilled everything to her, and I told her, I don't have a mom. I don't understand. Where did she go? Is she okay? That was very traumatizing for me. After seeing the movie, I spent a significant amount of time fantasizing about what it would be like to have a mom, who my mom might be. I have no idea what I wanted. I just knew there was something there. For all intents and purposes, my needs were met. And yet, for some reason, the nagging feeling that I was missing something would not go away. There was a definite hole where a woman should be. I was gravitating towards women in my life. It felt different when I talked to women than it did when I talked to Billy and my dad. There was a difference that I noticed at a very young age between the way that women talk to me and the way that men talk to me. And I craved talking to women. I really craved it. I was seeking that communicative nurturing that women offer, and I craved women's attention. And it did not matter what woman it was. It was something that gave me a lot of joy to be able to, follow them around and talk to them and ask them a million questions. It is difficult to identify specifically what I was missing without having a mom. I knew that I had two parents that loved me. I knew that I had a roof over my head and I had food and shelter. I was unconsciously seeking something, though. And what it was I was seeking really came down to an identity. I was looking for something that could help me figure out who I was. I needed to know where I stood in the world and what my place was, how I was going to grow up, what that would look like as a grown-up. And not having a mom there made it harder for me to figure out who I was. Without a mother, you can't identify your place in the world or who you are. It's not possible. By the time I was 22, I decided I was going to start looking for my mom. Do we look the same?
Okay, let's talk
How
then.
does she talk? How does she?
Yeah, I fully disagree, because I have friends who are orphans and are brought up in orphanages, and they've definitely they've done well. Of course, they've given their life to Christ Jesus too, though, and that's why I say I disagree. You can always find your place, especially when you finally realize that your place is with God's people. Your place is with Him. There's your family. But I came from a split home too. Dad left when I was 9, divorce was 10, 3 custody battles, and I got stories. But no, you can find your place in the world. I have a feeling I know where that was going, though, wasn't it? Some adult female came along and said, they're there. And it just turned out to be a homosexual and showed her a different way. Children are extremely susceptible to this, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very, very. It's and we've talked about backgrounds. I came from a broken home, and my father didn't want anything to do with me, so I didn't have a father. As a matter of fact, I had worse than a father than no father, because he made fun of me and belittled me. It's almost like that made him feel like a man by belittling me. So, I grew up with that missing that vacuum, and I tried to fill that vacuum with sex, with alcohol, sports, business. It never did it. It never did it. And it took a while, and it took that Bible and the Lord and that to help turn that around.
Right.
But those, even then, there's still that missing. There's still something missing. You still walk with a limp because you didn't have that confirmation that you're okay. I mean, you early on, you found out that you were worthless and that you're going to be that way for the rest of your life. And it's very tough to wash that out, especially when you get that when you're a child. So it's complicated, yet it's very simple.
I've heard so many people who have divorced and they have children, and I am just insulted when I hear them say, "Oh, it was better for the children. All
Yes.
we were doing was fighting all the time. It's better for the children." That goes back to what I believe Katie Faust was talking about, where the adults are far more interested in pleasing themselves than what's best for the children.
Yeah, and well, it is, especially in this nation where, we're an Uber nation. If you need something, just snap your fingers and it's there. Or sometimes you don't even have to snap your fingers; it's there at your door anyway. And we're spoiled rotten. We are spoiled rotten. And in terms of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you start with that basic shelter and food and water, and then you get self-actualization. Is where we are in America today. That's causing problems because we expect to be pleased, and if we're not pleased, then we believe we're victims. And seriously,
Right.
and that's what the schools.
My
teach
Grubhub was 15 minutes late. I'm going to sue the driver.
Yeah, that's very true. But it's the key is, well, if the gay couple isn't there, the child's not going to be adopted. So they're going to be worse off without the gay couple.
That's what they say. Yes.
Yeah, but you just heard from a lady that said, "Wait a minute, I need to." Children mimic parents. They mimic parents. A male will mimic the father. A female will mimic the mother.
Right.
Well, we got a problem.
Like my dad shaving, and I wanted to stand there.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to stand there and shave with him.
Yeah.
He got me a little plastic razor, and I would shave with him.
But she was in a situation where there was nobody to mimic. She knew they might have called her mother, but she knew that was not her mother. That did not fulfill that feminine, the feminism that she needed in her life.
Right.
It's quite unfortunate, and it's unfortunate the divorce rate. It's unfortunate that what we're doing to them, changing their sex. It's unfortunate that we send them to government-run schools that teach them that life has no meaning. Morals are relative. Man, not God, is a major thing. The state,
family is what you decide it should be.
Yeah.
You want to marry a fence post, you should be able to marry a fence post. You want to marry a 9-year-old. That's where we're going.
Yes, it is.
Where we're going.
Yes. It. Think of how bad it could
It's already
get.
happening with all the proliferation of Islam.
Yeah, that's
changing laws. In the United States of America, they're changing laws. That's next. That you can marry kids. Telling you that's where they're going. That's what they're pushing for.
And you say, well, that's not possible. And you go, well, wait a minute. We have laws where men can marry men and women can marry women. That you think that's a good.
I didn't think that would ever be possible either.
No.
Even here in California, I never thought that was going to be possible, especially when we passed Prop 8. But nope. Look what's happened.
Yep. And you had mentioned early on in the program that they changed homosexual to gay, but guess what they changed? What word they changed to homosexual was sodomite. Biblical. Sodomite's too strong a word, brother. It's too strong a word. We gotta just ease this off a little bit. We're going to call them homosexuals instead of sodomites.
And even that was too It was
Yeah.
too descriptive for that community.
Yeah.
And then the hilarity of it all to me is the fact that women, homosexuals, well, they don't want to be lumped into that whole homosexual crowd. So you'll call us lesbians.
Lesbians, yeah.
Because you're from the Isle of Lesbo. What the hell does that mean? What do you mean, where'd that come from? But yet everybody jumped on board, didn't they?
Yeah.
Everybody jumped on board. Not me. You're not going to dictate the English language to me anymore. One more thing, and then I got to go. I got a guy coming on next who I think you'd be very interested in watching. He calls himself the Alphabet Man. I'm looking forward to hearing
David Arthur.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You know
folks,
David Arthur, K?
Absolutely. Stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned. This guy will blow you out of the water. But because what he's been through, what we just talked about.
Well, there he is right now. There he is right now.
How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Can you hear us, David?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, this is J.R. Harrison. J.R. Harrison in the middle there.
Yeah. I've had David on it. I have to mention this. I have a podcast on Saturday mornings, lastcallradio.live. I've had David on there several times. He is, he's an answer that the community we're talking about wasn't asking for. Okay. But God gave the answer. Well, I'm not going to ruin it because David is just incredible. But folks, he's going to tell you some things that you're going to go, really? Really? What?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing your story, David, very much. Can you give me a few extra minutes, though, with JR? I'm just wrapping up.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Thank
you, brother. Stand by.
Thank you.
I'm glad you know him. That's fantastic. But I did want to bring one more thing into the mix here, my friend, and say what you will about Tucker Carlson now.
Yes.
I was a huge fan of his. I never missed a show. I DVR'd his show. I never missed it. I caught it every single weekday on Fox News. And then when they fired him after that whole Dominion thing and who knows what all, I realized that I thought at the time, his career's over. Nah, I was wrong. I was wrong. He's done quite well over on Twitter and everywhere else. But this thing is about fathers wanted. And this is a documentary that he's doing, right?
Yes.
JR?
Yep.
Okay. Are we watching the trailer? Is that what we're watching?
The trailer to it, yes.
Okay. All right. Let me call that up. Here we go.
Well, you often hear people compare the West, America, Europe, to Rome. Clearly, Western civilization is in decline. And at the same time, you hear another set of people tell you that masculinity is the problem, toxic masculinity. And young people hear both of these things, and a lot of them become consumed by despair. Men are not irredeemable. Men can be stronger. But you got to fix one thing before that happens, and that's fatherhood. No society without fathers can continue. And that's why we made a new documentary on the topic. It's called Fathers Wanted. What the country needs isn't less masculinity, it's more. Steady, responsible, self-sacrificing male leadership. In a word, fatherhood. Strong fathers build strong families, and strong families build strong nations, which amount to a strong civilization. Fathers Wanted is available right now for limited time only on tuckercarlson.com.
That's not misogyny, that's the truth.
I thank God for my dad. I wish he would not have left. I understand why he did, though. My mother suffered from mental illness that from the beginning of their marriage, she was who knows how long, but I'm seriously certified mental illness because there was court-ordered psychological evaluations of the 4 family members, my brother, me, dad, mom, both individually and together. And the prognosis was, that girl's crazy. Bipolar, manic depressive, same thing. Severe anxiety disorder and paranoid schizophrenic.
Whoa.
Should not have maintained custody of my brother and me, but yet the judge, hapless, stupid judge, kept saying, well, boys need to be with their mother.
Mm-hmm.
That was the attitude.
Yep.
Even if she's crazy. like I said, 3 custody battles, and I didn't get away from her and get to live with my dad until I turned 14. Then it was the age of accountability, and they couldn't say no. So on my 14th birthday, I called my dad and said, please get us out of here. He said, are you sure? And I said, yeah. And my brother, he just went wherever I went. So that changed everything. That was a paradigm shift. So I got to have a relationship with my dad, and thank God for my grandfather on my mom's side. I lost the one on my dad's side he died before I was ever born. But I had that. I had that idea, and it was a great dad. I'm blessed. How many of my friends I hear whining about their dads and how awful they were and so on? Like your dad. Like, I shouldn't say whining. I'm sorry. That's demeaning. Just complaining and talking about their dads being so terrible to them. And I think, oh man, I was lucky to have a great dad, and gave me something to aspire to. And he was my hero and still is, even though I lost him when I was 24 in a car accident. But I watch society, I watch the media, I watch advertising, turn the men into nothing. Especially fathers. Fathers are all idiots, stupid.
The Simpsons.
If it weren't for the mom, when they don't even call them wives anymore, he wouldn't even be able to survive. He'd probably die just laying there on the couch watching football. Couldn't take care of himself. That's how they promote men in general, and especially dads. And look what it's done. Look what it's done to society, and we've accepted it. We haven't fought back against that. We haven't complained. We'll boycott finally Anheuser-Busch for Dylan Mulvaney, all that Bud Light crap. But other than that, we don't do anything. We don't say anything. We don't fight back against any of this, do we? In fact, we keep watching the shows and keep supporting it and keep going to businesses that use that in their advertising. All men are idiots. Just go to this and you'll make the woman happy. Happy wife, happy life. Or I'm sorry, did I say wife? I meant life partner, until of course you decide that you don't want them in your life anymore. Whatever it is, so confused. Even earlier you said that you were talking about what was it, a homosexual couple. Again, I don't use the word gay. Homosexual male couple, both males, and you said the man you were referencing, he was the gay wife, is what you said. Think about that.
Yeah,
I thought there was no wife. I thought there was no male and female. I thought we were just homogenous, androgynous. There is no difference between male and female, but yet we have to say gay wife.
Yeah,
because there's always a male and one that takes on the role of a female, even though it's 2 men in the relationship, isn't it? That's very prevalent, isn't it?
They know that there's a mother and a father. They know that.
Right. That's my point.
Ooh. Hey, Natural Family Month. You want something to do? Get your city, get your state, get the U.S. government, the federal government, to start celebrating a Natural Family Month. Mother's Day through Father's Day. First week is for mothers, then children, then grandparents, great grandparents, extended family. Ended on Father's Day. And have all kinds of dinners. Put your cell phone away and enjoy your family.
We got 50 states and only 8 so far have taken that kind of a stand. So where do we go? How do we get involved? What is your website?
Natural Family Strong, naturalfamilystrong.com. There's a section in there for the Natural Family Month. Things that you can do is celebrate that. How about getting a natural family organization in your public school, a club,
goodness.
a natural family club. We have gay clubs, natural family club.
Yes, they do all over, everywhere now.
So let's have a natural family club. Yeah, you got to find a
love
teacher.
that idea.
Yeah, there's things like that
idea.
you can do. There's all kinds of things you can just think of what the other side's doing and mimic it. But please, please, please stop cursing the darkness and start lighting the candle, folks. That's the key. You cannot sit and wait for it to come and be a home game. Once it happens there, you're in trouble. You want to play this is a game you want to play out there, not in the home.
And pray for this success.
Amen.
Pray against evil. Pray against wickedness. The word tells us to all the time. Pray for your enemies. Yes, you know how I pray for them? Like King David. Lord, please save them. And if that's not your will, Lord, please stop them. And get behind, it's naturalfamilystrong.com. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's a great place to start. Naturalfamilystrong.com.
We agree.
JR, thanks for letting me vent about all my frustrations with California politics. I sure appreciate it, buddy.
You got to get it out of your system.
I sidetracked the show. Yeah, I am a little frustrated right now. All right, my friend. We will talk to you soon. Thank you again for the time.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So there you go. That's a great place to start and get involved. Why not? Why not? Go for it. And also get yourself one of these awesome coffee mugs, this big old 15-ounce mug. Let's talk about politics and religion. And if you're working in an environment where you have a desk you sit at, put that on your desk. Come on, you can do it. Put your back into it. Don't be scared. CharLeeSimons.com. Let me bring that back up again. There we go. Look at that. Let me get everything going. Whoa, look at that. All fancy. CharLeeSimons.com. CharLeeSimons.com. Cups, hats, mugs, all kinds of stuff. And you'll be helping the show that way. You'll be supporting me and helping the show stay on the air. Unless, of course, you want to see me go away. Then don't buy anything. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. But most importantly, America, bless God.